This episode of the Purple Tie Radio Show is brought to you by Fave Geek, home of your favorite geeks.
Visit us online at favegeek.com.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Purple Tie Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Martin, business therapist, simplification specialist, and entrepreneur.
And I am your co-host, Blake Singleton, the tech guy.
Last week I was the all-around good guy, but I've proven not to be the good guy this week. I've got a cold.
That's true. It's really bad.
So let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Hello, ladies. That's my scratchy voice going on right there.
Sounds like I did a couple months back.
Oh man, it hit me like a ton of poop. I went from feeling okay to feeling absolutely just like the backside of the dog.
It's bad, y'all. It's real bad.
Oh man, I've had a good night's sleep in like, I don't know, 3 or 4 nights now. I'm so tired of coming. And the dog gets aggravated at me too. She's just like, you can hear her. I'll cough and then she'll go like I'll be so glad when you just shut up.
Oh, I can so see that happening.
Oh man. So but she's well though. She's well. She's not caught the cold. So
she's doing all right. She's all right.
She's all right. So our review this week is the HP 6250 Color Inkjet All-in-one. I need to make sure that number's right.
As he leans over away from the microphone.
It's the 8620. Oh, wow, it's not even right.
That's not even close.
Oh, man, where's my pen? I got to totally change that.
8620.
Yeah,
y'all hear that?
wow.
That is analog. We are scribbling on paper.
8620. So, I've had this printer for a couple of weeks, and I like it. I'm not a big fan of inkjet. Now, but you know I'm not a big fan of inkjet.
I'm not either. Since you, okay, so I started work for you, 13, 14 years ago now?
Oh, God, forever.
And I was all about, well, I mean, that was back in the day when, bubble jet was still a thing.
And you were like, man, we need color. We need color real bad.
But when you introduced me to toner and laser printers,
oh, my God.
I was like, done. I was done with everything else.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who needs it? It's slow. And,
it is.
Oh, man. The old days of the HP, I don't even remember what they were now, but it was
Office jets or something
the
like that?
Page Jet or whatever. One of the very first ones. And it had the little flaps that whenever you hit print, it would go clack, clack, clack.
Yeah.
And then you'd hear wah, 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 and that's it pulling in the paper. And then you'll hear the head go kaboom, kaboom. Whee! Wait for it. Whee! Line 2. Line 3, and it took like 8 minutes to print a full color page in like $40.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you had to change ink, you had to change ink cartridges halfway through the print. It was bad.
My first time, I was like, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to save money. I'm going to do it myself.
Do what yourself?
Refill the ink cartridges. Let me tell you, I was blue and red with a hint of yellow in places. It was the most awful experience I've ever had, ever. So, but this one's really cool.
I got to say, inkjet printers have come a long way.
Oh, man.
Talking about the old days, whenever you would print a page, you had to hang that thing up to dry.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah,
I mean you didn't just shove it in a
you didn't dare touch it
or anything. No,
no, because it would straight up
smear.
You shove it in a sheet protector, and then you take it out. Well, no, you take it out, and there'd still be like this hazy photo of it left. Oh man, it's horrible.
Or if you were walking outside and it happened to be sprinkling or something,
your homework was done.
It was done.
It was done. Or coffee was my big thing. I'd set it down and I'd be like, oh God, I did. So, but this one's really nice. All the cartridges are like in every color's its own individual cartridge. The black cartridge is really big, which I like. And it's fast. It's stupid fast. I mean, it's faster than the color laser printer I had a few years ago. Granted, it was a few years ago, but
but that color laser printer was huge.
And cost like $80 bajillion to run.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like once it cost like $80 bajillion to buy, and then once you got it up and running, it was fine, unless you had to do. Well, I mean, you had to pay.
When the lights dimmed when it come on.
Yeah. Also, you had to pay monthly maintenance on that printer. And that's right, folks. Monthly maintenance.
Oh yeah, and it was 10 cents a page for color.
It was one of those things where you got off better just having a maintenance agreement and getting free ink through the maintenance agreement than actually purchasing, or not ink, it was toner.
Here's the thing, nothing's free.
Yeah.
You were paying for it in that monthly maintenance contract.
But it just seemed like the better deal at the time. Plus, if it broke, somebody would come out and fix it. So.
Yeah. So this thing, and I'm not sure what it is, but the first time I fired it up, I was actually looking at it at an angle because it's up high on the desk, and I was over on the love seat in the studio, and I had printed from the iPad. I'm watching it, and that's right, I printed from the iPad. So, but there was this orange light that came on. I was like, "Is that fire?" It's a fire in there. I was looking at it from afar. Oh my God, we should take that out, but we're not. So, but anyway, what it was shooting laser beams or something to make sure the paper was where the paper was lined up at. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then suddenly it goes, zoom, zoom, and the page comes out. And I'm like, no way. That can't be. I mean, it sounded like it made like 2 swipes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it made like, 150 or so, but it sounded like 2 giant swipes, and then suddenly, poof, out comes the paper. It was great. Print quality on it is pretty good too. I mean,
it's all right.
I wouldn't print photos to hang in my house with it, but
that's if y'all still print photos.
Oh my God, I got one of them digital picture frames. It's called a 32-inch TV. I just airplay it straight to the thing. Hey, look at this picture of my dog. Man, I'm bad about that. I got people come over and I'll be like, hey, look at this picture of my dog. And I put it up on the TV. I'm like, oh, and look at this one. She's sleeping here too. And then she's, and they're like, do you have any of her awake? And I'm like, no, I don't.
No, why would I have any of her awake?
Oh my God. So,
okay. So anyway, it's an all-in-one.
Super duper quick.
Yeah, it's an all-in-one. So it's a print, scan, fax copier.
I emailed from it the other day.
Did you?
It is pretty slick. Like it's got a touchscreen on the front, and you can key in the address you want to send it to. And email it straight from the machine.
That's cool. The touchscreen is becoming pretty standard though. Like you're going to have 2 types of printers in the near future. You're going to have the type that has absolutely no button faces at all, like the wireless laser monochrome that we've got over here.
Yeah, the 1102 that we reviewed a few weeks ago.
And then you're going to have one that's, essentially the entire front face of the printer is going to be a touch screen. You're just going to touch it
at random areas to make it do random things.
Right.
A lot like me.
The scanner... the scanner does really well.
It's fast, too.
The setup is easy. I've set it up on Mac and PC, and it works pretty well on both.
Mac is a little bit weird because it doesn't come with the Mac software.
It doesn't come with any software.
You hook it up and you install it. The computer just finds it, magically finds it.
Right.
I guess the disk is for like Windows old edition. But
almost got a sip of coffee there. Glad I didn't.
Oh man, what happened to that microphone? Well, not sure. But anyway, it's the machine just finds it, and then it's like, please wait while we contact the vendor for software.
Yep.
And then it suddenly downloads, the scanner software and the fax software and all the other stuff. Yes, I said fax. That annoys me. I don't want to fax from it.
Yeah, but guess what? It costs like 15 cents to add a modem to this thing now.
They're like, hey, let's throw this quarter modem in there and sell it for another $100.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It's added functionality that a doctor's office or a lawyer's office will use.
I touched it and come on. But it's got all kinds of features. It's got like an eco print feature where it doesn't put quite as much ink down. But honestly, it doesn't flood the paper with ink as it is. Like, I mean, you can see it through the paper, obviously, if you hold it up to light, but it's not like the back is wet like it used to be.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You don't need a clothespin to hang it up.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're printing photos, though, the eco print would make a big difference because, it's really laying down ink if you're printing a photo. It's
also got apps on it, and I'm pretty excited about that. I just clicked on the little apps button.
What I don't understand. What kind of apps would a printer need?
Google Drive.
Google Drive.
It will connect to your Google Drive, so I can print stuff straight from the Google Drive. It'll do Dropbox.
Maybe scan stuff straight to it?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really played with it that much. I guess we should really,
Second review forthcoming about the apps for the 8620 printer.
But, I mean, it's the fact that it will just link to Google Drive, period, is cool. I mean, even if it's nothing but it's got Google Drive, it's got the calendar app from the phone, Forbes Daily, Stamps.com.
Oh, no, that would be nice if we had the prepaid postage that you could print on there.
NBC News.
Okay. Why would you want? Why? I don't understand the need for that.
Smart Talk, for some reason, and then Business Sampler, which is
that's strange.
I'm assuming is like documents and stuff that you can look at.
I'm thinking back to the days of yore, the days of yonder. And I remember
from afar.
I remember the first time that I ever had to deal with a wireless printer, and it put such a bad taste in my mouth because it was, I don't know if you remember this, but it was in a doctor's office down in Birmingham, and we had to buy these adapters to go on the printers because what's
economical.
Yes, that's a very polite way of saying cheap ass. And he would not pay to run wire to where the printer needed to be. So
as a disclaimer, they didn't work well.
No,
no, that was a doctor in Huntsville that did that.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, but no, okay, don't mention them. But
no, I'm talking about the one down.
I'm thinking about the little D-Link things that we bought to make them print. God,
we had
those
to do
were
that.
Awful.
What did we have to do in Huntsville? I don't remember that.
The doctor.
Oh,
my personal doctor, remember? He had all the printers, and he was like, hey, let's print it wirelessly.
I don't remember that. But
wireless has come so much.
Yeah,
I mean, it's come so
setting
far.
up these things before with a dongle plugged into the network jack on the back of these printers, and they've come such a long way. I mean, you came from having to buy add-in cards.
To just shipped with it.
Yeah, well, the wireless one down here, I don't even think has a network card in it. It's got a USB cable for programming. And
I don't think this one has a 10100 Ethernet.
It might. I don't know. I don't think anything has 10100 anymore. I think it's all gigabit. But
well, that's different than the days of the coaxial cable. So I just hit account setup on the Google Drive. And it's wanting me to set up my account on the Google Drive. So I'm assuming I can pull up documents and print them directly from Google Drive.
See, that's going to be really nice.
Now, if you can scan directly from Google Drive, that would be awesome as well.
Yeah.
So I guess we will have to do a second review once we play with the apps.
Follow-up review in a week or so.
Next week's show, we'll talk about the apps that come with it. But all in all, it's a great little printer. I mean, it's fast. It scans relatively well. It'll scan black and white, color. It'll dang near do it on its own.
I'm waiting for, what's his name? Zuck. He's making the next personal assistant, the automated personal assistant where you just talk to it and it does stuff. So I'm waiting on him to interface and get an app for that so I can just say, yo, HP, print out such and such from my Google Drive. And it'll say, of course, sir, right away.
Oh, that's racist. Oh, man.
Butlers are people, too.
Oh, man. Why did I think of Uber whenever you did that voice?
I have no idea.
Suddenly, sir, I'll take you to the palace right away. straight away.
No, the only thing that I think of whenever somebody mentions Uber now is there was a skit that starred Macaulay Culkin a few months back called Driver.
Is he still a thing?
He's sort of in and out of things, but it was called Driver, and he was an Uber driver, but it wasn't Uber. Anyway, it was funny. You should look it up. It's DRYVER.
So on to something else that's, not Macaulay Culkin. So my business tip.
I could have sworn I muted everything. You're buzzing and plinking and doing all kinds of stuff.
Put my phone on vibrate. I'm buzzing and plinking. I'm not sure what it is. So anyway, on to my business tip of the day.
I flipped the switch. And now I'm turning it all the way down.
Okay. Yay. I'm sure it'll still ding.
I'm sure anyway, it will too, because we have yet to have a radio show where there was a ding, a buzz, or a plank or something.
You would think everybody would go to bed. Anyway, maybe if we didn't do this at like noon. So my business tip is you don't know what you don't know. You just don't know it. Sometimes there's things you just don't know. And what got me to thinking about this is my sign guy. I love my sign guy. My sign guy. I got the nostrils.
You do have the nostrils.
But I love my sign guy. He's good at what he does. He can hit print on a color printer real hard and print out some decent looking signs.
Well, now he also does vinyl and
he does
all
vinyl letterings, full color print. He does all kinds of stuff. But he does something that annoys the crap out of me. And it's not because it's a computer thing. It's just because it annoys the crap out of me. He will spend 8 hours working on a computer that someone that does computers for a living would have done in an hour while he was doing something else to make money.
Right.
But he'd rather take that 8 hours to go work on his own computer. Why? When the toilet backed up at Fave Geek, because one of the employees dropped a deuce in it. What
we call him Clogwell.
Clogwell. Oh, that's great. So anyway, I called a plumber. Now I did plunge it once or twice to make sure that I needed a plumber, but I decided I needed a plumber. I wasn't gonna go.
It didn't take you 8 hours to decide that, did it?
No, it took me like
15 minutes.
It took me like 15 minutes, and then I was like, okay, you're going to clean this mess up. I'm going to call a plumber, and if you do it again, I'm going to take it out of your pay. Add some fiber to your diet, boy. But, but I don't know about that. I don't know about plumbing. I don't know about electrical. So whenever we got lights that don't work, I don't, I'm a computer tech. I ought to be able to figure it out. No, I got an electrician for that because I don't like to play with anything over about 12 volts.
That's why you're a computer guy.
That's why I'm a computer guy. Well, I take that back. Some of my RC cars run on like 18 volts, but that's a max. That's it. That's as much as I'm playing with. I'm not messing with nothing else.
Still enough to kill you, though.
Yeah, well, enough to make you pee yourself. But you just don't know what you don't know in business, and if you're in the business to provide, computer repair, don't go, doing your own.
Service industry is a really good example because you talk about electricians and plumbers. You've got your sign guy and mechanics. You've got food service and stuff like that.
I'm not saying you can't cook your own hamburger.
No, I'm saying in business, you've got those things that you are proficient at. You are good at working on computers. You are good at fixing vehicles. You are good at cooking food. But you are not good at rewiring lighting.
I didn't write our POS system because that's not what I do.
No.
I bought a POS system that I paid $99 a month for.
I tried.
And that's point of sale, so get your minds out of the gutter. We're not talking about pieces of
food. But I tried to write one. If you'll remember back in the day whenever I was learning how to write code and stuff,
but it's not our strong point.
It's not. And I worked so long trying to get that thing working.
I'm about to make you
properly.
So mad. Graphic design. Yeah, baby. I said it, graphic design. How many people do you know that are, computer guys or, we'll throw Clarence under the bus, cleaning guys.
Everyone.
And they decide that they're going to do their own business card, or they're going to go to Vistaprint and do the little free online.
No, I mean, I get that, okay?
I mean, I get
if you're
being
starting
frugal,
off
but
and you're
dang.
frugal and you don't have a lot of money, okay, you're going to use the templates. But, getting somebody to half-ass a logo out of their basement or whatever, or sitting down and doodling it on. I'll tell you what, the worst one I've ever seen was somebody who drew their logo on lined paper, ruled paper, and didn't take the lines out whenever they printed their business cards. They scanned it in, cut out the outline. You could still see the blue lines in the logo.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, my God. There's just, and it's okay. It's okay not to know. It's okay to, that's when you pony up, save your dollars, and get some help.
Yeah, I mean, you can have just your name on your business, just the name of your business on your business card until you save up enough money to get an actual logo made, or even if you don't have a lot of money, there are people out there who are good at what they do, who will do it for less money than they should.
Well, Fiverr
is a great example.
And that's that's some place that you can get pretty much anything you want for $5.
Yeah.
It may not be the greatest, but it's
Look
$5.
around, do some shopping. It's just like your tip last week.
Look around, shop around. But now, and we met a gentleman at the meetup last week, and his business cards, his logo was just his initials.
Yes.
JTB.
Yes,
and
it was.
It was fine. There was nothing wrong with that. But
nope.
there was nothing wrong with that.
There was nothing wrong with that.
So anyway, there's nothing wrong with that, and so it doesn't have to be an elaborate logo. Is what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to pay somebody to draw, a $1,000 logo. You don't have to have that getting started.
I would say if you paid that getting started, you got taken for a ride.
Yeah,
but I mean, you don't know what you don't know. You don't have to know everything to run your business. You just have to be good at what you do. And then
find people to help.
Other people to help. Exactly right.
That's my business tip of the week. You don't know what you don't know, people. Get over it. So, story time this week is more of a complaint for me than a story. I mean, it is a story, but man, it makes me mad. So, my story time this week is Wi-Fi, the office away from home.
Right.
And originally when you saw it, you were like, yeah, Wi-Fi, it's everywhere. I get it. Your office away from home. And I'm like, no, dude, that's not what I'm talking about. And as soon as I mention it, you're going to be like, oh, my God. So I walk into Starbucks the other day, and there's a guy set up, and he is like straight up set up. 2 tables shoved together, laptop broke out, headphones on, microphone going on. I don't know if he was playing World of Warcraft or building the next billion-dollar business, but he looked like he was busy doing something. and like, he went up and got a glass of water and all this other stuff. I'm like, at least buy something that costs money. If you're gonna sit in the Starbucks and use their Google Fiber, I get it, it's fast, but buy something that costs money. And 2, get a life. Get another office somewhere else. I mean, this dude sat there for he was there the morning whenever I went in to get a cup of coffee, and then he was there in the evening when I went back in to trade him a tip and my treat receipt. I got a real problem. I'm not afraid to admit it. But he was still there, and he was still in the same spot. And it annoys me.
So my problem with people that do that is it's so inconsiderate on so many levels.
Now, I've had business meetings at Starbucks, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking you straight up set up office in this place.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, you might as well find a co-op somewhere, pay them a little bit of money, and just set up and use their internet, because that's what they're there for.
When a barista is taking your phone calls. When I know I can call the local Starbucks and get transferred to you, there's an issue.
Yeah, I mean, Starbucks always wants to be your third place, but I don't think that's what they meant.
This was like the second place for this dude.
Yeah. So Wi-Fi, the office away from home, Wi-Fi is literally everywhere. I mean, I was down at the park the other day.
Did you know you can get it at the McDonald's?
Yes, I did. And
I was happy about that. Not that I've ever eaten at McDonald's, but you sit in the parking lot and get it.
Well, speaking of sitting in the parking lot, I was at Wilson Morgan Park the other week, and there was public Wi-Fi there.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, at the park.
At a park.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
Now, granted, it's not great, but it's there.
And it's free.
And
now, okay, so if you want to set up a home, an office away from home, that's an idea. I mean, I could work on a picnic table out in the
Well, I'm
sun
thinking more along the lines of our old setup. Do you remember the van that you used to have with the brace in the middle?
Yeah.
And you had the laptop set up and all that stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I literally had a mobile office.
It was a mobile office. But, I mean, you could pull up outside almost anywhere these days and get free internet. As long as you agree to their terms of service, you're good to go.
And, for updating, service tickets and things like that, you go by, you do your service call, you swing by Zaxby's or somewhere and sit in the parking lot, update your ticket and everything, and move on. I mean,
or as a courtesy, drive through the drive-through after you're done and buy a drink or something.
Yeah, just a drink. I mean, not. It don't even have to be that much. I mean, they make tons on their drinks. Are the most profitable thing restaurants have.
Yeah, but I mean, the Wi-Fi home away from home or office away from home thing, you need to get out of your office occasionally.
Yeah,
but taking over like a quarter of Starbucks
for your
office is that's not right. And Starbucks employees are not going to ask you to leave unless you become a problem. So they're just going to have to deal with you sitting there,
which is
leeching off of their internet and their, electricity and all of that stuff. I mean, it's really, really poor.
It's just bad. I mean, if you're going to have it's one thing to have a meeting there, because we have a monthly meetup at Starbucks.
Yeah.
And of course they sponsor it for us and, give us a, French
Starbucks,
press of free coffee.
Starbucks Indicator, thank you so much because you have been awesome with our meetups. We started our meetups in October and we've had one a month since then. And
we didn't do it for December because everybody was busy with Christmas.
But they started donating French press coffee, and it's amazing. And if you're in the Decatur area, go see them. They're awesome.
They're always nice too. They're always polite, nice, and I mean, you can't get better than free.
You really can't. That also leads back into the you don't know what you don't know. Because if you are setting up at Starbucks, and we use Starbucks as just a general coffee shop term because that's the most convenient place to go. It's usually quieter. It's got free Wi-Fi.
We've got a place called Java J's over on the other side of town. It's a really nice, mom and pop owned coffee shop.
Right.
And I've had meetings there too, but I've never just went in and been like, hey, I'm here for the day. Thanks. Gonna eat lunch.
Well, I mean, at least you were going to eat lunch. Did you bring your own lunch?
I brought a sack lunch.
I mean, we talk about adding insult to injury, But, going back to the you don't know what you don't know, if you go to Starbucks and you set up shop and you're going to be there for a long time, you need to consider that maybe there are things going on in the business that you don't know about that maybe you need to take into consideration. You know, why do they have free Wi-Fi? It's not for you to come set up shop.
No. And the other thing, you don't see people setting up shop at like the local Burger King or nothing. No. It's always like,
well,
you know.
I don't know. I've never gone into Burger King. What, you know, after
wow,
I haven't been into Burger King
drive-through only or what?
I haven't been to a Burger King since they started having Wi-Fi.
Wow.
I haven't been to a Burger King or a McDonald's. The only time I've ever eaten Crystal was that one time that you took me, and I regretted it immediately.
Oh, man, that was a day. That was awesome.
Oh, my God, that was terrible. But, you know, I haven't been. I don't know.
Like the Zaxby's incident we were
I have had people come in to the store and say, hey, did you know that Crystal has free Wi-Fi? You can get it out in the parking lot. So...
Really?
Yeah, I've had people come in and say that. You know, I went by Crystal and checked, and it was working at Crystal, and
but it don't work at home. And Charter says it ain't my modem.
Right?
Oh man. Hey, so exciting news! Well, y'all may not have known this, but we had to take a break in the middle of recording because someone's got a girl bladder.
Yeah,
but
it's the dog.
So while you were gone to help the dog, I checked the printer and I checked the Google Drive because you were like, man, that'd be cool. You can view all your documents, view and print them, and you can scan and upload documents to it. Is that not that's
the bee's knees?
Pretty awesome.
That's neato.
Yeah, that's neato.
Yeah. No, it is awesome, and you said it was really easy to set up too. So
yeah, I actually went to the Google Drive, and it was like, hey, go to google.com/device and register the device. So I went to google.com/device, and it was like, hey, which Google account would you like to use? Told it what Google account, entered in the code off the machine, and it's like, hey, look what I can do. And I was like, hey, that's awesome.
It's just like hooking up whatever. Like whenever I use the set-top boxes like the Fire TV or Apple TV, whenever you're hooking them up to Netflix or Hulu, it always asks you to go to a website and pair the devices to your account. So
I was going to buy me a new Apple TV last week whenever I took my iMac.
I was wrong. It's $150.
Still, $150 for a new Apple, because you went with me because this thing is like the size of
Manhattan.
A house.
Yeah.
And while I was there, I was like, hey, I think I want a new Apple TV. And you're like, they're $199. I'm like, screw that. I'm not paying $199 for a new Apple TV.
You know what, though? That Apple TV, the new remote with the motion, it's not motion.
It's glass.
Yeah, it's glass. It's just
capacitive touch.
Yeah, and it's not, I don't like it.
Really?
I don't like it because it's
I
just
didn't even play with it because you said it was $200. I'm like, well, screw that.
It's like
I'll go play with that iPad Pro.
Yeah, which was pretty cool.
It was.
If you've ever hooked up your phone to your Apple TV and used it to navigate where you swipe left and right to go left and right, that's what the remote's like. But it's
I love that.
It's really not precise for me. Like,
really?
I want what I
I'm
what
excited
I would like
about
to
being
see,
able to speak to it.
That was pretty cool. But what I would like to see is, have you ever used the music app where you've got the carousel and you put your finger and you just drag across and it moves with your finger?
Yeah, that's like the old-fashioned jukebox, but it was actually a little spinny thing that you spun. Sure. It was all analog.
We'll go with that.
It was all analog.
I'm waiting for that sort of precision. I don't want to swipe and have it move one notch. I want to be able to take my thumb and move it from the right to the left and have everything on screen move from the right to the left along with my thumb.
So if you swipe your thumb faster, it would be faster, and slower, it would be slower. And
right.
I can see that. That would be very intuitive, though.
It would be intuitive, but it would also be super duper handy, and it would make a lot more sense than the swipe left for one click left.
Yeah. So, but I am excited about my printer here. I'm going to really try that Google Docs thing. That's the Google Drive thing. That's awesome.
Back to the printer.
Well, I'm excited about it. Can you not tell?
Hey, did that guy bring the printer to Starbucks with him? Did he bring a wireless printer?
I've seen that, but not him. But I have seen somebody bring like a printer, a laptop, like one of those little portable printers.
I've never seen one of those. I've seen scanners. I've seen the portable scanners.
People get a shared office space or something.
Seriously.
I mean, I don't
remember if we've talked about shared office spaces on this show before, but just look it up.
Yeah.
It's called either a co-op office or a shared office space, and you rent it by the hour, the day, the week, or the month.
I mean, whenever the phone rings and they pick it up, Allie Burton's office. You're at Starbucks. I just want to yell. I just want to yell something just vulgar and have them have to. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm
making a latte right now. Can you hold, please?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really at the office. I'm actually at my local Starbucks eating their Wi-Fi. So,
can we talk about some tech news real quick?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Let's talk about some tech news real quick.
Oh, man.
You showed me.
I'm getting a cough drop.
Yeah,
Can you hear it?
You guys, this is a live recorded show.
Is that a thing? A live recording? This is a live recording of the show.
This episode was recorded live in front of a studio audience. The dog
clap.
counts. Yeah. But you sent me an article earlier this week about a 5D disc. And I thought it was so amazing.
I did. I didn't read it, but I sent it to you because I thought you'd think it was amazing.
It is amazing. I thought it was so amazing I wanted to mention it on this show. So it's a 5D disc, and if you go by the picture that's on the thing, it's about the size of a $50 coin. Mm-hmm. And they say it can hold something like 300 terabytes of data. And I was just amazed. Also, it'll last until the sun explodes. Never degrade, because
Wait a minute, hang on. Now, is that a proven thing?
They said that tests showed that it could last for billions of years. And it's 360 terabytes per disk, and it can withstand temperatures up to 1,000 degrees Celsius. And they're estimated to last up to 13.8 billion years.
1,000 degrees Celsius? That's like a billion.
Yep.
In Fahrenheit.
So what they do is, yes, it is a kabillion in Fahrenheit. What they do is each file is comprised of 3 layers of nanoscale dots. The dots' size and orientation, as well as their position within the 3 standard dimensions, constitute its 5 dimensions. So, yeah, it's a lot to take in, and it's really difficult to describe over audio. But the dots change the polarization of light traveling through the disk, which is read using a microscope and a polarizer. So as complicated as that sounds, it's really super cool. You're talking about these discs that
what
can hold...
happened to the days of the invisible ink? Hey, y'all bring me a microscope and a polarizer. I'm going to look at this guy's data real quick. What?
But see, I'm waiting because right now I'm sure it costs, $100,000 million or something to have all the equipment necessary to read and write to these discs.
Well, that's how much the HP disk writer was when it first came out, $100 billion.
Right. The CD drive, the CD burner that you had to plug into USB.
Actually, the one that I got was SCSI, and nothing else would read the disc other than it. Like you could write
that's like tape drives.
Yes,
that's like tape drives because tape drives wouldn't read. Like,
oh my God!
You couldn't take a tape the same size and type from one tape drive to another one because the other tape drive wouldn't read it.
I remember on my Amiga we had this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, my Amiga the other day.
I remember admiring it from afar.
It had 2 discs, and it had one that was programs and one that was the operating system. But it had a tape drive that was literally a
cassette drive,
a cassette tape drive.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
that's how you save data. You took a blank cassette and you put it into the cassette drive.
Yeah. It was slow.
Well, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was extremely slow. But you got to keep that tape, that data. And if you stored it at room temperature, you could save it a whole 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Without any degradation.
That's a big word for you to be using.
But I just thought these 5D discs are so amazing. Ooh, that's a loud one.
Sorry.
Good for you.
Man, have you ever forgot?
Happened to me once. But no, these 5D discs, I can see these things replacing, depending on how fast they are, I can see them replacing solid state drives and computers. I mean, 360 terabytes, that's insane. Right now, the largest drive that I can think of that you can purchase is like 3 terabytes. And it costs $150, $200.
Wait, you can buy
not a solid state.
Okay, you're just talking about regular
I'm
old
talking
platter
about
spinning.
The largest hard
Disk
drive that I can think of right off the bat is 3 terabytes. Largest solid state drive I think is an eighth of that, like 512 gigabytes or something like that.
Well, the new Mac has a hybrid drive. It's a terabyte drive that's got 256 gigabyte of
solid state,
and then the rest of it's
standard.
like regular standard stuff. And apparently, there's some software that runs in the background that tells stuff where it needs to be stored. And so, the more stuff you open, like if you open Illustrator a lot, it'll write that to the solid state, so it loads faster.
Right.
Where if you I mean, I don't know how you would hide your naughty pictures from that. I mean,
always going to them, so they're always in solid state.
They're always in the solid state drive.
I'm just, I'm thinking about how this is going to affect businesses later on, because like you said with the HP disk writer, that thing cost, without exaggeration, several $100s, probably close to $1,000 whenever you first bought it.
It's almost $1,000, but I made my money back on it. This is why you should do what you know and not do what you don't know. So I would take that laser writer, basically, and the card, and I would go to clients' offices and back up their data to a disk for them. And they were just amazed because it wasn't a tape. Backups only took mere minutes instead of hours and hours. And
no, I don't know what disk writer you're talking about. The disk writer that I'm talking about, if you wrote a whole disk, you were going to be there 2 hours.
Yeah, well, I got paid by the hour, so it didn't matter. But that's what I did with mine to pay for it.
But I mean, you made back your money, but it cost like $1,000 to buy this thing.
It was expensive.
So to write to these disks and to read from them, you need, I don't remember what kind of laser it said, a phantom laser or something like that. You have to use the laser to write to it.
Want one of them lasers that can set the room on fire from afar.
Let's see if I can find it real quick.
That's our new word for the day. Afar.
Afar. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Thrilling to think. Technology. I must have passed it.
It's what you get for trying to read the article on your phone.
Femtosecond laser bursts is what it says. But
laser burst, not even
a full blown laser. Wow. That's how they write to it. But Blu-ray drives are a great example. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. It was before the PS3. Anyway, Blu-ray readers cost hundreds of dollars.
Oh yeah.
And now you can buy a Blu-ray reader that plugs into USB for your computer for like $100.
You can't even buy a disc. You can't even buy one of them VCRs that ain't got one built in it. They're everywhere.
So I'm just excited if this becomes an actual thing. You're going to be able to buy all of the equipment at standard prices. Maybe $150, $100, and it's going to come inside all of the computers. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great.
All right, so that's my.
I'm trying to power through this. If you can't tell,
yeah, that's my.
I'm being a trooper.
My tech news for the week.
My mom would call me a trooper.
Your mom would call you a trooper.
Oh man! So
let's go into our next section. The gorilla is loose. Some guerrilla marketing tips.
I think we should take the time to thank Favegeek for sponsoring the show.
Find us on the web at www.favegeek.com. Give us a call at 256-260-4335.
I want to do the weekly challenge instead of the gorilla is loose.
Okay.
So, because I'm pretty excited about this one. I kind of want to do it myself. I'm going to do it with a racing ring.
Oh God!
I'm gonna
Convert the studio into a racing room.
Yep.
All right. So
And
what's
I'm
the
crunching my cough drop if you can't hear.
Yeah.
But
What's that tip?
It is create an inspirational room.
Meaning.
Create an inspirational room, a room of something that you love. If it's flowers or a hobby or whatever, just create a room of inspiration.
Isn't that kind of what you did with your entire garage?
So, I mean,
You turned your entire garage into an inspirational room because it's filled with your RC cars.
It's a disaster room right now.
It really is.
It is.
It is.
But no, I got thinking about this. I rebuilt a true blue vintage RC car. It is a old, like 1990 model.
Oh, that hurts me.
Oh yeah,
1990s old.
When were you born again?
82.
Old. So anyway, I rebuilt this car and it looks awesome because it's old school. And I was like, I want a place to display it because I'm not going to run it. I'm not going to race it. It would fall apart, especially with me driving it.
Well, now you've driven a vintage car before, right? And
I have a vintage car that I have raced, and it's awful. I can't keep it together for a qualifier or a whole race. It's
not like you hit stuff. It's just it shakes itself apart driving down the track.
Oh
but
my
anyway,
God, it reminds me of my dad's old Beetle that he had. It shakes, rattles, and rolls down the road.
Oh God!
Oh man, it was awful. It was the most. I had a buddy of mine that had one too. Had a roller skate for a gas pedal. I'm like, how do you control that? And he's like, you don't. You just step on it. And I'm like, won't you speed? And he's like, not in this thing.
So you pick something that you really love and you make a room.
Yeah, like for you it would be nerd stuff. It would be comic books, video games,
It would be like if I had a room full of video games, movies, comic books, and drawing stuff.
Yeah, the drawing stuff is. I mentioned the other stuff, but and for me it would be race cars, awards,
monster trucks.
No, I'm not really into monster trucks. I do like the dirt oval midget racing though. That's pretty. I got a friend of mine that does that.
I forgot that's an actual thing.
Those cars were too small for me to get in. Man, could you imagine me trying to fit into one of those? I'd squeeze in. Car would be 4 times faster because of the aerodynamics. But anyway, create a room of inspiration. Just even if it's flowers, if it's cats, you probably should check yourself. But
before you wreck yourself.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go there.
I was. I always do.
You really do. For me, it would be pictures of my dog and race cars. For you, it would be nerd stuff, video games, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sci-fi fantasy.
Create a room of inspiration. Maybe it's glass vases or vases.
Is it vases?
Vases. So the gorilla is loose. Gorilla marketing tip of the week. And we've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
So hold a trade show or offer training type stuff. Right?
Educational materials.
So think about like Home Depot.
Yeah.
They do that whole thing where you can come on a Saturday and learn how to build a birdhouse.
I remember a friend of mine taking his daughter to do that.
Who was that?
I don't remember. I just remember that it was him and his kid, and they would go to Home Depot every Saturday at like 8 a.m. for this class.
Well, that's not weird.
And they would go...
Sorry.
Nice. That's a good way to interrupt a conversation.
Man, I'm trying to be a trooper for this thing. I got to tell you, I'm achy. I don't feel good. I'm going to Lysol this mic real hard whenever I get done. I'm just going to throw this pop filter away and start with a fresh one.
But yeah, I mean, Home Depot offers these classes for free.
Mm-hmm.
In the hopes that
you buy the crap there.
Yeah, in the hopes that you learn something that you can apply, but it's all based around stuff that they sell in the store. wood, nails, saws, paint, all the stuff that you would need.
Building birdhouses.
Yeah.
I went through a whole summer. I built birdhouses.
I remember you vaguely telling me about this.
Yeah, I built a ton of like we had the drawing at school, and I learned how to build it in workshop in wood class.
Right.
That was the thing in my high school, but it wasn't high school; it was junior high. We had like a week of leather working, and then we learned how to build birdhouses and all this other stuff. But I built birdhouses for the summer. And
sold them, I'm sure.
I sold them for decent money.
Whenever I was in junior high, or what would have been considered junior high, because my school was too small to actually have a division between elementary and junior high, we did soapbox derby cars.
Straight from 3rd grade to 12th? Is that what you're...
No, my school was K through 8. It wasn't K through 6.
Yeah.
But we did soapbox derby cars, the little pinewood cars.
Pinewood derby cars.
Pinewood derby cars. Yeah, we built those.
Those are. I had a stint with those one time. I didn't do real well with them. I hate them.
I came in 3rd, I think.
I tried to carve it with a knife.
Oh God,
yeah, no. It was awful.
That was my first experience with a bandsaw.
Oh man. Power through this.
Closer we get to the end of this, the more you seem to cough.
So the trade show thing, though, we've done that before, and we're actually doing something now where we're teaching a class about Google.
It's an ongoing class,
and it's a free class, and the hopes of it is you get them in and you educate them about why it's important to update your Google listing, and why it's important to take control of it, and why it's important to use Google to your advantage, because whether you believe it or not, that paper phone book is dead.
Oh yeah. I
mean, we talked, I think, one of the shows about it, and I've got one somewhere. I think it's holding a table up, but I haven't looked in the phone book in 10 years. But I mean, I'm a techie.
Unless you were looking for, my mother's not a techie. But she looks up stuff on her iPhone more than she uses the phone book any day of the week.
This is true. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's gone from, the young generation is doing it to everybody's doing it. So now, like, 80% of your customers are finding you on Google. And here's the thing. There are places that just don't have a listing. Like, in downtown, old downtown Decatur, there was a place... And I was looking at the Google listing for a software company. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, that building looks familiar. And it was, because it was repainted and it's now the art gallery. So I got to looking for the art gallery or the art supply place. And I know we talked about it, I think, last week. But they just wasn't there.
Yeah.
They just weren't on the map at all. So if I'm looking up, art supplies, Decatur, Alabama, the only thing that comes up is... Hobby Lobby and what used to be Michael's, which is now Planet Fitness. Not really sure that was an upgrade.
Yeah, but, I agree. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have a listing on Google, we're going to tell you why that's bad, what to do to fix it, and
if you've got one, why it's important to claim it and verify it and all that good
stuff. Keep it updated and all that stuff. But I mean,
the hope is that they go, wow, that's complicated. How much for you to just do it for me?
Right. Or they understand that, oh, wow, I don't have enough time to do what really needs to be done.
Let me hire
you to do that.
You don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
How do we keep going back to this thing?
Because it's a really broad, really important thing to learn about business.
I did good on this topic.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of businesses go into it thinking. A lot of business owners go into business thinking, okay, I'm just going to do everything. I'm going to do everything because I don't want to spend any money on.
Wait a minute, there's a great term for that. Chief cook and bottle washer. And my dad used to say that all the time. He'd be like, I'm the chief cook and bottle washer. And that's, you do it all.
That's true.
You're the head chef and you're also the dishwasher. So,
yep.
But trade shows, we've done trade shows as well. We went down to Sandestin for a number one Oh man, it was so great. It was awesome. Remember that awesome bus tour thing with the dude? He was on it too, man. It was crazy. Like he took us around the golf course and around like the expensive homes you could buy in the area and stuff. And I'm like, why are you showing me this? I can't.
I can barely afford this bus ride.
Yeah. I might have to pay you $1 when I get off here, and I'm sweating it.
But yeah, I mean, we went to a conference down in Sandestin and peddled our wares, so to speak.
Yeah, we did.
But we made a lot of really good contacts, and
we met a lot of great people that gave us ideas.
It was really beneficial.
And that's the thing with trade shows. It's not just, I'm going to take my product and I'm going to go to a trade show and sell it.
Yeah.
I'm going to, who was it? I was watching Shark Tank the other day, and they were talking about, I can't remember if it was the Squatty Potty or one of them. Yeah, that's still, I don't have one of those yet. But they were talking about going to the Home and Garden, trade show.
Yeah.
And they were making valuable connections, and they were there to sell. I know what it was. It was the paintbrush cover off of Shark Tank.
That's right.
And they had gone to, the Home and Garden trade show or whatever, but they were signing people up for orders. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about that kind of trade show. I'm talking about the trade show where you set up and show your products, and you may make an order and you may not. You know, it's just a learning experience. Let people come by, let people look at it, touch your product, use it, figure out if there's even a market for it. That's a great market research area right there, is go to a trade show and just see what people are, talking about.
Yeah, and if they aren't talking about what you are doing, then maybe it's time for you to consider changing your strategy.
Doing something else.
Yeah, because after all, you don't know what you don't know.
So the training thing would be, and I got to thinking about things like air conditioning repair. How in the world would an air conditioning repair company do training? Right? You're not going to train them on how to fix their air conditioning unit, right?
No, but you may train them on how to identify problems or...
No, I'm thinking something even easier than that.
Okay.
You're going to teach me the proper way to clean my ducts. You're going to show me how to take my duct, the grate of my ducts off, how to clean the ducts, how to, keep them sanitary and smelling good. And, because in the summer, last summer, there was a funk coming out of there. Like, only in certain rooms, but there was a funk coming out of the air conditioner, and come to find out it was algae. Up in the drain pan. Algae.
Gross.
Yeah, that's why that pipe out back had green stuff coming out of it. Apparently it was trying to wash itself out.
Gross.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. But you're going to teach them how to do that, and how to, make their air conditioner, run better. How to, go out and hose off the fins or whatever they are. I don't know air conditioning. I can tell you.
You need to go to one of those trade shows or one of the educational things.
One of the training programs that they're putting on.
That's what you need to do, though. You need to decide how you can benefit someone by giving them just a little bit of knowledge, but not so much that they don't need you.
Well, and it's not so much that they, and that's a common misconception, is that I'm going to give you so much knowledge that you don't need me. I'm going to give you so much knowledge that you go, wow, that looks complicated. I should probably because if you show me how to swap the engine in my car, I'm still going to pay you to swap the engine in my car, because I ain't doing that. I'm just not.
Yeah, that's like an electrician showing me how to change out
a light bulb.
No, not a light bulb, but like the electrical outlets in the wall. I know how to do that. I know how.
I did it in my old house.
Yeah, I helped in your old house.
Well, do you remember the one time that my brother-in-law went in and turned on the power so he could use the power for something? And
right, while you were hooking up one of these outlets. Yeah, I remember. That's why I don't do that.
Yeah. Speaking of peeing yourself, that's a quick way to do it. But maybe we should say that for another show, because our time for this one is just about done. If you found the contents of this show encouraging or enlightening, then we would encourage you to follow us on Twitter at The Purple Tyco. Head on over to Facebook, facebook.com/The Purple Tie. Give us a big thumbs up. find us on the web at www.thepurpletie.org. And remember, no matter what you do this week, ask yourself, what are you doing to earn your purple tie?
Go get a cough drop, Robert.
I got a bag of them.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for joining us.